plot is definitely engaging.
Is it like better than like Dunkirk?
Yeah, I liked it better than Dunkirk.
Okay.
Adjust the levels.
Yep.
So
Testing.
There you go.
Yeah, 1917, good movie. Not getting a lot of Wi-Fi, if I'm being honest, down here, or service. So not gonna really be able to tell you who directed 1917. I got one bar of 4G. Oh, Safari could not open the page because the server stopped responding. I do this every week at church, testing mics, so I'm pretty used to just talking nonsense.
I love this so much.
This is pretty easy for me, to be honest.
I need to take notes. I'm so awkward with it. I'm like, oh, check 1, 2, 3.
I just literally just start looking around the room like, oh, Concordia jerseys, that is interesting. We see number 1. I bet behind that will be number 2. A lot of pads. That's Baeza's walking in. Are we gonna keep this in?
Yeah, we'll top it. Yeah, we always do a fade in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
With mumbo
This
jumbo.
actually picks up pretty well.
It's not bad. Yeah.
Not bad. Where should I put my phone? Hold on. I feel far away from the mic.
Yeah, pull it up. Here, I'll scoot closer to you.
Jesse, did you just ask where should I put my feet?
I'm so nervous.
That you're nervous?
Wait, can you turn off sound as like a hair? I feel loud. Hold on. Hi. Can you hear me?
Come up closer to the mic.
Closer.
There you go. You're not close enough to it. Say more.
This is every bit the
Can you hear me
disaster
now?
I was expecting.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear yourself?
I can hear myself now.
You can hear yourself. Okay.
Now I can hear myself.
Perfect.
Guys.
This is going to be a nightmare to produce.
Sorry, Ken.
Oh, good. This is going to be fun.
Guys, welcome to this episode of The Cook and the Coach. I'm Baeza. I'm the coach.
I'm Kenny. I'm the cook.
Welcome to another episode. Last episode, guys, we started adding more structure to the podcast. We started adding a segment where Kenny talks about something related to cooking, and I would talk about something related to coaching. But fuck all that. We are here with our, and I'll explain why in a second. We're here with our first ever guests on the podcast. This is historic for the podcast.
This is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
I hope they feel honored because this is
Historians
a big
will write about this moment.
Exactly.
They're already penning it right now.
Couple big gets.
We are here with Nathan Miske, Jesse Lindahl, two good friends of us, two good friends of the show. This is actually very fitting that they're our first guests because Miske lived with me and Ken about a year and a half ago. And I want to start a podcast with Miske. But before we could get that rolling, he decided to move out last second without any heads up.
It's true.
Let me explain.
No. This is our show. You're not explaining shit.
We control the narrative, bro.
I found out you're moving out via Instagram, all right? You know how much that hurt me? We're hashing out right now.
Wait, what? I'm not even on Instagram. How did you find out on Instagram?
Kenny posted it.
I posted it.
Yeah, that's how I found out.
I didn't post anything.
You said, "Oh, we're looking for a new roommate." I was like, "Wait, someone's moving."
Baeza
yeah.
posted this.
I do remember that actually.
Okay, but all jokes aside, so we're gonna talk about a few topics today with Nathan and Jesse. Topics that we have very strong feelings about. So we're not gonna do the regular intro because we need to dive right into it.
For sure. This will probably be a 2-part episode.
Yeah,
likely.
for sure. So, do you want to start with 1917 or Uncut Gems? What do you want to start off with?
I want to start with explaining
Yeah, defend yourself.
why I moved out.
Actually, yeah, give yourselves a little intro. Talk about yourselves. Let people know what you're about.
Yeah, so I was in school at Bethel with Baeza and to study ministry and everything, and I got a job at the church I actually grew up in as the youth director, and I'm starting to be the pastor right now. In fact, I'm up here right now, back in the cities, taking a class all about biblical prophets. That's going to come into play later, so just keep that one in the old dome there. But why I moved out is because I got a job at a church, and we work at a church. You're basically clergy, right? So I wanted to be a part of this podcast, the cook, the coach, and the clergy. I don't know what Jesse's doing here, but you need a C word.
I got one in mind.
What is it? Let's hear it.
Not that one.
We can use that one.
Damn.
Okay, wait. So you're currently what exactly are you studying for your degree right now on grad school? What's like the actual
Yeah, so the degree program I'm in is the Master's of Divinity, which is the pastor degree. So I'll be a
Okay.
pastor once I'm through it all.
All right, right on. So to clarify, so you were going to Bethel for seminary, but then you transferred to Luther,
That is correct.
and you basically had to start all over, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
But where were you on the night of the 19th?
I don't remember. It wasn't me.
I was studying the prophets.
So yeah, I want to start a podcast with Miske. He lives a whole state away, but we at least get to have him as a guest today, which is super exciting.
For
And
sure.
we also have a good friend of mine who I've known since I was little kid, Jesse Lindahl, in studio with us.
Probably like 3rd grade or maybe 2nd grade when I got held
Well,
back.
yeah, exactly. This is okay. I need to explain this. This is a big.
This is just all the dirty laundry.
No. I have to explain this. This is a big. This
Are we
is
airing our grievances right now?
no.
This isn't a grievance. This
No.
is just a fact. I
This
got
is
held back in 2nd grade, and that's when I met Baeza. Maybe that's when I met you. It could have been 3rd or 4th grade. I don't
The
know when
reason-
we first had class.
Okay, so to clarify, so me, Ken, Jess, we have this friend group we've had since we were like in elementary school, right?
Yeah, I joined the group in 8th grade. I came a little bit late, but
Right.
since then, yeah, inseparable.
The reason why Jesse's a part of my friend group, the only reason why is because he got held back a year from 3rd grade to 2nd grade. So yeah, I got put in class with us. So Jesse's actually the ancient member of our friend group. He's a year and a half older
I've
than
always
the rest
been a
of us.
year older, had my license first, everything.
He's the oracle in a lot of ways.
He really is.
The first to start losing his hair when
Yeah.
he was 13.
Very true.
Yeah, I'm totally bald. And
When did he start balding? It was high school,
it was
wasn't it?
like no, it was definitely like 8th grade. I started noticing
8th
it.
grade?
Yeah.
Really?
That early?
Yeah. I had a receding hairline in like 8th grade, but yeah, like
Okay, actually, now I think about it,
college, it's
Oh,
all
college!
gone.
College by then it was game over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not fair. And I've known Baeza since early elementary, Kenny since 8th grade when he came to school with us, and then I lived with Baeza for, Baeza and Miske when we were students at Bethel for a while, so that's how I kind of grew closer to all you guys and got to know Miske mainly.
Right. So I met Miske freshman year of college. We were across the hall from each other in Nelson, N2 represent.
And two.
N2. And then sophomore year, we ended up living in the same apartment suite at Bethel. And then Jess transferred to Bethel that year, became direct roommates with me.
Peter Parker.
Peter Parker?
That's right. We used you. So when you were, because remember you were like going back and forth, like, oh, I don't know if I'm transferring or not.
Yeah.
So then I had to tell the admissions counselor or the counselor, whatever, like, hey, like, I got a friend who's on the fence about transferring.
To like reserve a spot for me in the room.
Right.
Gotcha.
So I had Spider-Man be your.
That was my alias.
Yeah, that was your alias.
You were literally Peter Parker, according to Bethel.
She picked that. That wasn't me. She picked that.
I'm surprised they even let you do that. Just reserve a spot for someone who hadn't even officially transferred yet.
Yeah.
Basic gets what he wants.
I guess.
I always do.
No, I do.
Yeah, man.
I do remember after I lived with you guys for like a month or two, and you realized I wasn't like some weirdo who was gonna kill you guys in your sleep or anything. You were all like telling me like, yeah, we had no clue what we were getting. Baze just said he had a friend that could have meant anything. We were all really nervous.
That could mean anything.
As we learned.
That could be anyone from Gus
Dude, shout
to
out,
Jesse.
shout out Gus.
We
Shout
can't
out
get
to
into
Gus. Shout out to my
Shout out
guy,
to Guts.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Should we get into it?
Let's start talking Uncut Gems.
Great movie. Great.
Can we talk about like the pre-experience of Uncut Gems for a second?
We gotta
Sure.
get into Gus.
Yeah.
What-
Let's
what-
talk about it.
Wait, are we no.
Why not?
No. So I'm not gonna get too much into it, but I just want to say like we get into the theater. Beza goes off to get his popcorn because this is Beza at a movie. He's got very very specific things he needs. But Jess, Kenny, and I are having the time of our lives. It's kind of a you had to be there thing, but
Yeah.
we were just having the time of our lives. And
At my expense. Well, okay, actually no, not.
not at your
But
expense.
behind
at
your
all.
back.
Behind your back. Not at your expense.
Yeah.
But we're having so much fun. Kenny leans over and he's like, you know, however good or bad this movie was, I think this night was a success. And I said, apparently the prophecy class was rubbing off on me very prophetically. We might as well just leave
Yeah.
because there's no way this movie is better than this night was.
Yeah.
And boy, not even I knew the extent of that statement.
Whoa. Okay.
You're not wrong.
So
Agreed.
So we're talking about the movie Uncut Gems, the A24 movie with Adam
Starring
Sandler,
Adam Sandler.
Kevin Garnett, Idina Menzel. Who else was in it? The Weeknd.
Julia Fox.
Julia Fox.
Was that the main girl?
Yeah, that was the non-Idina Menzel main girl. She played Julia. Her name's Julia. Played
In
Julia.
the movie?
So I watched an interview with Julia Fox. She's literally just that character.
In real life,
In real
that's
life, she
her?
is that character.
Isn't this her first non-short film movie?
Yeah. So the Safdie brothers who directed the film wrote the part for her because it's literally just her.
What?
Oh.
I mean, everyone in the movie plays themselves except for Adam Sandler. The Kevin Garnett plays himself. The Weeknd plays himself. Everyone plays themselves.
Kevin Garnett surprisingly doesn't play himself that well.
Okay.
That's true. He was pretty chill. That is not Kevin Garnett is not that chill.
You don't think so?
He bangs his head against the backboards in warm up.
That's okay. That's in the game. That's when he's in the zone. That's different. That's different.
You know what? Never mind. We'll save it for spoilers.
Okay, guys, we're getting into spoilers right now. If you haven't seen the movie, go away, leave the podcast. Let's get into it.
Or just listen because don't see the movie.
Yeah. True.
Okay.
True.
So to clarify, Kenny, Jess, and Miske hate the movie.
It's terrible.
I loved it.
So bad.
I thought it was great. I thought it was one of the best indie films I've ever seen.
It was indie?
Yeah.
Oh.
A24 is like an indie
That
company.
explains a lot.
Have y'all seen Good Time?
I don't know what
is
that is.
Okay, so it's the other movie the Safdie brothers have done. I think they've done one other one, but I don't
Who's
remember.
in that?
It's Robert Pattinson, so Edward.
I know what you're talking about. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
The whole time I was watching this movie, Uncut Gems, and I was like, this is so much like Good Time. Apparently it was the same directors, so
Oh,
that
wow.
makes a little more sense.
What the heck?
Did you like Good Time?
No, also did not like Good Time.
So you're just not a fan of their work in general?
Because I don't understand. What about the movie do you not like?
Well, okay. What did you like about the movie?
That's a better
Everything.
question.
Okay, just what did you like? What do you think the movie did
Well, first they opened a pot right in the motherland
I agree.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
great
yeah,
scene.
That was the best part.
That
of the
was,
movie.
yeah, the first scene was the best scene of the movie.
because they opened up in Ethiopia. That's why it was the best scene in the movie.
In like a mine in Ethiopia.
Great scene. Super. I mean, they actually hired like Ethiopian actors for that, which made me kind of happy.
I was easily the most excited at that part of the movie.
I loved how they had like the bosses there were like Chinese
I
people.
know, yeah, that was a
because
cool
the
touch.
Chinese are literally buying
They're
all of
taking over
Ethiopia
the
right now.
world.
They are. They're like buying all of Ethiopia. When you go there, all you see are Chinese running everything.
Yeah.
So it was kind of sad, but it was kind of true that that's what was going on.
Yeah.
I also like how like a lot of the movie revolved around Ethiopia and like Ethiopian history, and they had the Weeknd was like the biggest Ethiopian celebrity of all time.
Was there a reason that Ethiopia was like so heavily featured in the movie, other than like that's where the gems come from?
Well, the gems were mined by Ethiopian Jews, right?
Yep.
Because Ethiopian Jews are like the only like Jewish people in Africa, basically, and they're the ones who mine these gems. And then Adam Sandler, his character Howard, he's Jewish. His whole family's Jewish. It's like a whole like connection thing.
And the Weeknd being there.
The
I
Weeknd's
didn't know if there was
Ethiopian.
some, like if the directors were Ethiopian or something. They just seemed like, I didn't know if the directors.
Oh, if
were,
the Ethiopian directors were, if the rest were Ethiopian, I would have lost my mind. But
Yeah.
no, they weren't. They were some other
okay,
place.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, I will say the Jewish theme tying throughout that was a good part of the movie.
I agree with that.
See, there were some highlights to the movie.
I don't. So like I don't hate the movie as despise it. There's like no chance this is ever like gonna be a good movie. I just think it was very close to being a good movie, but instead was not.
So basically, let's walk through. So basically, Adam Sandler, he plays a con man essentially, kind of a pawn shop type guy who constantly has different schemes going.
He works in like the Diamond District in New York, selling jewelry and I don't know, just expensive pieces to people. I don't know.
Yeah. So, for example, like they get this big gem from Ethiopia, and then he trades it temporarily with Kevin Garnett for Kevin Garnett's NBA championship ring. And then as Kevin Garnett has it, he goes and pawns that ring off to someone else so he can get some money. And then so he can put that into some gambling situation. And then he's constantly behind everything.
He's basically pawning off like KG's championship ring to bet on KG's games and get more money that way, but it kind of gets messy along the way.
Yeah. He has two family. Well, he has a family, and then he also has Julia. What's her name?
It's just Julia in the movie.
Julia.
Julia Fox is the actress.
Julia Fox.
And she also works for him selling jewelry.
I'm gonna call her Halsey though, because I just thought she was Halsey the whole time. Not actually, but she looks a lot like Halsey.
She was hot. I'm not gonna lie.
Did she have a fake butt?
No.
Kind of looked like
Kinda
it.
looked like
I hope it wasn't.
she's like naked in a lot of the movie.
She
and
is naked.
It just looked like something.
Wait, was she
up there.
naked?
Well, almost
Not
naked.
naked, but like almost.
When?
When he's hiding in the closet.
When she's masturbating and he's in the
Where were
closet.
you?
I don't remember this part of
Oh
the
my
movie.
goodness.
Because you blacked out.
Wait, what scene was this?
Remember, he just comes back to their apartment and is hiding in the closet.
Oh.
Yeah. He jumps out and scares
Yeah, which is
her.
lingerie. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
I mean,
scene.
to be fair, her butt's like half the size of Beza's still.
That is
so-
true. It just doesn't register.
No, she looked great.
But yeah, that's kind of the main idea of the story. It's basically just following Adam Sandler as his life continues to fall apart
Yeah,
more and
as
more.
he's scheming, trying to sell
Yeah.
jewelry and bet on games and stuff.
Yeah, and his big opportunity to try to turn everything around is this uncut gem that he gets from Ethiopia. And that's kind of his ticket. And he's going to bring it to an auction, and he's also trying to sell it to different people and have all these schemes. And his family's falling apart, all that jazz. So you loved the movie. We
It was a
did
great
not.
movie.
I liked the first scene of it. And that was pretty much. And then there were some genuine laughs. Adam Sandler is intrinsically funny. I don't like his movies, but he's clearly like a silly person. So I did have a few laughs from some of his lines.
The movie was very legitimately funny. At times, it was a serious in tone, but there was funny moments. I especially loved visually. There was funny moments. It was more than like actual written jokes. It was just they panned over to someone and their facial reaction. For example, Arno when he was locked in the doors between the office, the diamond office. That was hysterical just to see his face in there.
Yeah, that was good. And they're like, is that the part when they're all sweating and just they've been trapped in there for a while or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was just so unamused.
Yeah. And I even thought Adam Sandler did a good job with that character. Like, it was kind of weird not seeing him be goofy.
It's so much different than anything else he's ever done.
Yeah, like
a totally
I
different
thought it
thing
was
for
fine.
him.
I didn't think it was like any. I don't think he's gonna win an Oscar for it, but I thought
Oscar worthy,
Okay.
Oscar nomination
Yeah.
worthy.
It reminded me of when Steve Carell did Foxcatcher. That was kind of his
Yeah.
first serious movie, and it was like you spend the first half of the movie just like, all right, this is a serious role. This is weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
hard to separate him from being a goofy guy in the rest of his movies.
I think
get
that's
that.
part of the reason that people have been raving about the movie so much is just because
Yeah.
Adam Sandler's an icon and
Just because he's acting in it.
he's super famous. And
Not a
now he's-
Netflix movie.
It's not a Netflix movie. It's not. What was that? It wasn't Pied Piper. Wasn't he a cobbler?
Actually, technically, it is a Netflix
recently?
movie.
Here's what?
Technically, it is a Netflix movie. It's gonna be a Netflix.
Uncut Gems is?
Yeah, technically.
Okay, but it didn't only come out on Netflix
Yeah,
like
they didn't-
his
they-
last couple movies.
Okay, but The Irishman is a Netflix movie, but it also came out in theaters. Like it's the same thing.
Did Netflix produce
Yeah.
this movie though?
Yeah, with A24. Yeah.
I did not know
I
that.
didn't know that either.
Interesting. It's weird to say that that's an indie movie then, because Netflix is so enormous.
And A24 is kind of a big studio too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now they are, but like they've only been big for like a couple years now.
It
They're-
definitely had an indie feel
Yeah.
to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All their movies kind of have that feel.
I still understand. Okay, you guys clearly don't like it a lot. What did you not like about it? I don't understand.
The whole movie felt like a panic attack.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people like about the movie.
And
Yeah,
I-
that's
I've
why.
seen.
That's why I liked it.
I didn't-
I felt like rushed the whole time.
But the movie, the stressful and panicky parts are just people talking over each other and the camera swinging all around and zooming in on people, and you can't, it was stressful, but you can't tell what's going on, and it's like, what's even happening? What's the conflict here? Why is everyone freaking out for no reason?
Yeah, I mean, and him too. He's always having like multiple schemes going at once, and so he's literally taking different calls like in a
Yeah.
row. Like, oh, I'll get your money. Oh, this diamond's coming. Like this, and then people are just yelling at him constantly.
Yeah,
It was very stressful.
I don't see the problem in that.
So they did, I think, exactly what they wanted to do in the movie. Like it was always chaotic. There was always yelling. The camera work was often very chaotic to mirror
Yeah,
that. Like I
totally.
thought the cinematography was good in that sense. But as an audience member, I just wasn't that engaged with it because it was just so over the top that I was more annoyed than like into it. And on top of that, Adam Sandler's character wasn't really a protagonist in that I had no desire to see him succeed. The only
Really?
the only reason I kind of liked him was because I liked his kids. Like that was
Really?
the only reason I was cheering for him.
You like those kids?
They need a dad.
Well, yeah, I mean they
what
were
about-
nice. They're
What kid was nice?
They're kids, Baeza.
All his kids sucked.
I want kids to do well in
All
life.
his kids sucked.
How'd they suck? How did the little one suck? The one who had to poop.
The fat one,
Yeah, the one who had to poop.
this little bitch. He was.
Oh my god.
Was he not?
I mean, I didn't like him.
You could see him being an asshole like 10 years later in life, for sure.
Well, he didn't snitch on his dad.
He didn't. Well, he also didn't really get a chance to.
Okay. He might snitch later.
He might have.
Yeah, once his dad was dead, he probably brought it up.
No, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
How the movie ended. You like how it ended?
I thought it made sense because if he had let them out of that room and they would have all just been like, "Oh, it's okay now, yay!" Like we got our money. Like I was like, they for sure are gonna at least beat him up. Like how would they not still be mad at him?
See, I was gullible. I was actually surprised when he got shot in the head.
I thought it was gonna be. I thought they were all gonna get out and they were all gonna be just buddy again. And I was like, this is gonna be so stupid. Why is it gonna end like this? So I was actually kind of happy that he got shot in the face. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
I knew, so kind of throughout the movie, like it was chaos, and his life was in shambles throughout the chaos, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then there's one conversation that he has with his wife where everything slows down when Idina Menzel is in her bar mitzvah dress.
Also, can I say, like, she actually didn't do a bad job with that role. She actually was pretty decent.
No, the acting was great
she was
by
fine.
everyone.
And
I thought-
Idina
yeah.
Menzel did a good job playing the wife. She did, she did a great job.
So Adam Sandler's character is having his one conversation with his wife where he actually slows down and he listens to her and they have a conversation. And because of that, he decides to leave his mistress. He decides to get his life together and everything starts going well for him, right? Like everything starts working again. And eventually he's going to get the deal done with the gem and everything's going to go great. And then the light bulb goes off in his head when he's in the office with KG. And he sees, oh, I can make more money on this. I can score here. It's going to be a big plan. And in that moment, I knew there was no way we were getting a happy ending.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's the
Interesting.
turning point.
Interesting.
point.
When who he actually is revealed. Yeah. Maybe it was an okay movie, but I had a terrible time watching it.
It's not a fun movie to watch. Just I didn't like the cinematography. I thought it looked bad. It looked like it was like a grainy 480p movie. Like
Yeah, it
it
was.
just looked bad.
It
I didn't
was what,
enjoy
based in 2000? What year was it?
2010?
2012.
Why was it so grainy?
Yeah,
Like everyone was
The
dressed
movie,
like
it just looked bad.
Everyone was dressed like stressed out people in the 90s, but they were in 2010
Yeah,
or whatever
Like they
year.
all had old iPhones and
Yeah.
It's 2012. They had.
I think the iPhones were accurate.
Well, yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm
definitely.
not saying they weren't accurate. I just thought everything looked bad. I thought the
I mean, this was back when
cinematography looked
KG
bad.
was playing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And Weekend was like a rising star. You know, this was a while ago. You know, not a long time ago, but this was a little bit ago.
Did The Weeknd's hair look like that in 2012? Beza?
That's a good
Actually,
question.
that's exactly what it looked like.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Like
an accuracy.
The Weekend, and this is the main reason why I want to see the movie because of The Weeknd. Because if you guys know in this podcast, I am a Weeknd stan. He's my favorite musician. I don't cry much, but if I met him, I'd probably cry. He's like my favorite human ever. I went to go see this movie for him, even though he's only in the movie for a few minutes. The Weeknd we knew in 2012, that's exactly who was on the screen. Like the hair, how he talked, like the way he was like talking to that girl, Julia, in the bathroom. Like that's exactly who he was back then. Apparently, Adam Sandler said that Weeknd actually like bruised him a little bit in that fight scene.
Really?
Yeah, which I found funny, but you know.
Way
because
too
they
much of
fight.
Adam Sandler with his shirt off, by the way.
A
Way
lot
too
of
much
it.
of that.
That I will agree with. He apparently Adam Sandler gained like 40 pounds for this role.
It shows.
Yeah, he did not look good. He probably had
Yeah.
fake teeth too throughout the movie. Those front teeth were not his real teeth.
Did you guys have a least favorite part of the movie? Of the whole thing? Or something that made you like angry? Anything like that?
Yeah, for me, like my favorite part of the movie was that opening gem scene. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then kind of one of my least favorite parts was then the opening credits scene where it was just like going through the gem and it took so long. It was like 10 minutes. It was like I'm so bored by the end of this and it's just chaotic and then eventually it moves to Adam Sandler having all these phone calls and you're trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, first it goes to Adam Sandler's colon.
Yes.
Kind of a
Oh
weird
yeah, I forgot
transition.
about that.
Most Adam Sandler thing of all time. That was that. I as like midway through, I'm like, oh, this is a body part for sure. It's a body part, and then
I
it
thought it was his
zooms out.
mouth, but yeah.
I was thinking
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it starts from all these like shiny crystals, and it's this weird zoom in portal-y thing, and then it zooms out again, and it's just the inside of, well, potentially Adam Sandler. I don't know if that was actually his colon or not.
But then my least favorite part of the movie was the absolute end when after he's shot, they like start going back into like the crystal thing and like
Yeah, they
start
zoom into the bullet.
Yeah, they start zooming in, and it feels like the opening sequence again, but it makes you feel like, okay, they're going to have some tag, some coda at the end of this, and no, it just ends. It was like, so I just watched 2 minutes for nothing.
Yeah. That made me mad. That made me furious. I'm like, what are we watching?
One thing I was really confused about too is how come those like Arno's henchmen, why did they kill him at the end?
Because that's a family member. He's gonna talk. He's gonna rat on them.
But is he okay? Here's what I was most confused about in the movie: is Arno like connected? Is he some mobster, or is he just like a guy who's got these tough friends that Adam Sandler borrowed money from?
I mean, Adam Sandler worked for Arno.
Worked for him in what way? What do you mean?
Did he?
I thought
Yeah.
I thought Arno was a
Partners.
loan shark. That's
I
the
thought
vibe
so
I got.
too. Yeah, I
The
thought they were
vibe I
doing
got
deals.
was like Arno was like runs this like gambling ring and like is involved in like all the shady stuff in New York with like diamonds and gambling, all that stuff, and like
I don't think Arno had anything to do with gambling.
Yeah.
Because that was the other guy was his bookie.
They really don't do a good job explaining who Arno is and why he got money from, or Adam
Whatever-
Sandler got money from him.
I think whatever Arno was doing, he's a guy who's she's a shady businessman, and then under him, Harold, Adam Sandler's character, like came up under him. So like Arno was like not his boss, but like an elder in the undercover ring in New York City.
They don't explain it very well.
Wait, no,
I was confused the whole
And
time about
that's
what his
my
character was.
of my gripes with the movie. That's my main ones. They don't explain the relationship between Arno and Harold and the whole family and dynamic and everything. They don't explain that as well.
Yeah,
that I do agree with.
Yeah, it just felt so weird that like his guys immediately turned on him like as soon as he was like, "You killed my brother-in-law," and they're like, they just killed him. It's like, what? I'm sure they've done stuff like this before. Why is this like the turning point for them? It just felt really weird to me. I don't know.
Exposition was really tough in this movie because they not only didn't explain certain elements very well at all, they also over-explained stuff at the beginning of the movie. I think one of the things that made me most annoyed was when he's in his office, Adam's in his office, and he gets the gem and he's unwrapping. He shipped it in a fish. Something like that, right? And then he's taking out the gem.
I thought that was cool.
That was
watch him
cool.
Go through the fish.
Yeah, that was cool. I actually did like that. But the guy, his employee, is talking to him, and if you listen, that's all like shitty exposition. He's like, "Oh, I've been working for you for this number of years. Like, we go way back. We're like family. I can't believe you would do this to me again after last time. Do you remember last time when you did this thing?" It's like, shut the fuck up. We don't need to know this. That pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like that guy, his lines anyways sucked. It's like, "Oh, and he ripped my shirt like last time." Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. That just goes to like, this is supposed to be a stressful movie where all this stuff's happening, but it comes at the audience's expense where it's like, we can't tell what's going on, or there's too much going on that it's like there's too much exposition, and I don't know. It just wasn't a easy or fun movie to watch.
Yeah, we don't need to know who ripped your shirt. We need to know who's related to who and like how that's going.
Yeah, in writing, there's a phrase, show, don't tell.
Yes.
This movie did a lot of telling and telling and telling and 5 people telling at once and chaos and chaos and chaos.
And
Yes.
a really bad job at showing.
Agreed. Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on Lakeith Stanfield's character?
Who's that?
Y'all should see the blank stares that came across Kenny Jesse and I's face.
No, he's Adam Sandler's like, what is the guy who sells fake watches? But
Yeah.
he brings
Oh,
in like
yeah, yeah,
KG and those guys.
That guy.
Yeah.
He brings in
yeah, yeah.
ballers for him to sell jewelry
DeMonte
to.
or something like that. Was his character's name?
It starts with a D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damani.
Damani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did a good job. I hated him as if I was in that movie, I would hate him. Do you know what I mean? Like he did a good job of being hateable.
Yeah.
He was a good bad character in that movie.
Yeah, and he was the way he held his, like the way he carried his body was kind of good too, like how he would turn and stuff. And I think they did a good job with this costume too.
He's one of her actors out there. Yeah, I love him. He's a great actor.
Yeah, his acting I thought was really great, but the character I didn't quite understand exactly who he was, how he was so connected with KG
Yeah.
and these rappers and everyone.
Yeah,
I
again,
mean, he's one of those guys that he just knows like everyone and like
So
I
he's
don't know
like
how to explain it.
he's like living your dream life.
He has a lot of connections.
yeah, but that was another problem I had is they don't do a good job setting his character up because like when Adam Sandler first shows up to his store, his character Lakeith's character is just there, and like they have some kind of rapport, but you can't tell if he's a customer or if he's like working for him in some way. You know, he's kind of peddling fake watches, but like it took me like a few minutes, like a sec to figure out like what is this guy's role here.
What was the problem the only problem I had with this character is I couldn't figure out his motivation.
Yeah.
Like what did he want? Like what was he going after? Like
it seemed
it wasn't clear to me what he was
seemed,
after.
It seemed weird too, because like when KG was first in, he was trying to sell him a fake watch, right? Isn't that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like Adam Sandler Howard shut that down, and then throughout the rest of the movie, Lakeith's character was just like hostile towards him, very standoffish. And it's like, is this the first time like you guys haven't agreed on something?
Right.
Like it just I didn't quite get his character, but I thought he did a good job.
So many of
acting it
those,
out.
so many of those people act illogically though.
Yeah.
The reason why I feel like some of the characters are acting illogical, like Kenny was saying, is because like we didn't know them prior, or we didn't have any understanding of their characters, who they were. So things that seem illogical to us, maybe logical to them, and maybe consistent with what they do, but we don't know them.
Right.
So maybe that's why it felt
I think,
off to us.
I think that was intentional, though, in that the choice was the whole movie is told from Adam Sandler's perspective. So because of that,
Sure.
we're only getting his perspective in the chaos and the chaoticness. So we're never really understanding anyone else's motivations. I feel like they did a good job establishing his motivations the whole time. I
Yeah.
always knew why
Yeah.
and what he was doing. So the chaos around him, that made sense. I think it would have been a better movie, though, if we would have understood the other motivations.
that I can agree with. I can get on board with that.
Yeah, Idina Menzel, I liked her in the movie.
I thought
was
she did
pretty
great.
solid.
Yeah.
For not being Elsa. For
Not
once.
being Elsa. Yeah, going from Broadway to doing that. Like, has she been in other movies? I don't
think
remember.
I've seen
I don't
her.
know.
Was she?
I mean, she's on Broadway for years.
Well, yeah.
She was
but-
in Frozen 2.
well, oh,
Is she?
This was last week.
Is she
I should have known.
Is she in Enchanted? Who's
Yes,
the, is,
yes.
is she the girl
the
in
Broadway
Enchanted?
short? Yeah, she is.
Interesting.
She didn't sing in this movie.
She didn't. Maybe 2/3 of the way through the movie, because she was kind of bothering me a little bit early on, like, because I kind of wanted Adam Sandler to, I don't know, fix things. And eventually I was like, she's doing exactly the right thing here. She shouldn't be with this dude at all. She's got to get out.
Can we talk about KG for a bit?
Let's do it. Yeah.
What the heck? I hope NBA players don't actually think like these gems can give them magical powers like he did. That was such a stupid,
I don't know. I heard some.
stupid point to me.
I've
Like,
heard crazier stories about athletes and like being superstitious and stuff. Like that part did not shock me at all.
that was so silly to me. I mean, maybe
That
I'm,
doesn't
maybe
surprise
I'm, yeah, maybe that is how it is. But I thought that was such a silly, stupid point that he was trying to make the whole movie. That he needed this gem to help him play better into his 30s. I don't know.
I bought it. I bought that, honestly. Like, I thought I bought it. It made sense to me that KG would have that superstition. I mean, there was
Yeah.
a whole like
Yeah.
Mother Africa connection, and
That doesn't bother me at all.
yeah, that
I guess it just felt like such a weird jump to me that we had to like make as viewers.
That cut, it was halftime.
that was the one part that I thought was stupid when he
Oh my
was like
gosh.
rubbing it and like staring at it. I was
No.
like, oh come on.
What bothered me about that scene was Doc Rivers' voice. That was playing Doc
hilarious.
Rivers.
It was
That's-
Doc Rivers.
What?
I know it didn't. It sounded like an impression of Doc Rivers. That's what I thought too.
That
I
did
looked
not
it up.
sound like Doc Rivers to me.
It was Doc Rivers.
Did you look that up? Is
Yeah,
it
I
actually?
did.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I mean, at least on IMDb it is.
That's
Was it
hilarious.
a recording? What did they come into the studio? Like what was it?
I have no idea. I didn't do that much research.
That was actually Doc Rivers?
Yeah. You know what it sounded like to me? It sounded like Jamie Foxx's
Yes,
impression
yes,
of Doc
yes,
Rivers.
yes. It's exactly what it sounded like. Yes. It didn't. If it sounded like like Jimmy Fox doing an impression of Doc.
It's not on Blake. It's not on Blake.
So
Yeah.
good.
Oh man.
Yeah, that shot killed me, man. He's like crouched in the corner of the locker room, was rubbing
That
his
was
gem.
Opals.
that was a little bit too on the nose. I will admit
That
that.
was very goofy.
Yeah.
Also, okay, who bets on the opening tip in a parlay?
Wild.
You have to be a maniac.
I think that's the whole point of his character, though. He is a man.
That part was really funny. If we didn't get that, we would have been screwed.
Dude, that when Julia's in the casino or whatever it is, and she's hoping that they get all 26 bets, and that old guy is hitting on her the whole time he's there.
That was a funny
What
part,
a
yeah.
creep, dude. And then she comes up to his room to escape the bad guys or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I leaned to you. I was like, he just exploded in his pants. Like as soon as he opened the door, like, ah!
No Xavier Rhodes situation going on.
Yeah, man.
Too soon.
Oh man,
Too
yeah.
soon.
Kenny has
Don't get me
Kenny has a
started.
theory that Xavier Rhodes on the Vikings can't get it up.
No, he definitely is ED for sure.
I don't understand what this theory comes from.
Dude, he underperforms in games. When he messes up, he blames other people. If he couldn't get it up, he would blame the girl or the booze or something else. He would never take responsibility. And he has this weird stressed out vibe.
right.
He definitely can't get
He
it
definitely plays like
Okay.
it. I'll give you that.
up. Yeah, thank you.
Now we have our first official block on Instagram from Xavier Rhodes.
I'm fine with that.
Xavier, if you're listening,
Dude, if
I
he
don't
can't
agree with
block
Kenny.
a pass, I don't care.
I don't think Xavier Rhodes is gonna hear this.
God. All right.
It's all good, man.
All right. Well, can I say one more thing about Uncut Gems? When he brings the opal, which he legitimately seemed to think was worth millions and millions of dollars, when he brings it to that auction and they're like, oh, it's worth maybe like $100,000, why didn't he just immediately take it out of that auction and just either give it to Arno or pawn it off somewhere? Why didn't he?
Well, the reason why he didn't get his own appraisal because he got the gem back late.
So why didn't he immediately snatch it from the auction if he really did think it was worth millions of dollars?
He's his money now.
Yeah, he needed to pay Arno right away.
I guess, but why couldn't he just?
And also
given him
those
the
two
gem?
random Jewish dudes that we have no idea who they were that kept popping up in the movie for no reason.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, I guess that's as good a reason as any.
Yeah, I think it was time.
Yeah, I just thought he could have given him the gem and called it good, and I don't know.
That was so stressful
Maybe
when he
that's
has
me getting too
his
nitpicky.
relative bet for or counter bet Kevin Garnett, and then it ends up that he has to be the one who buys it. That was very, very stressful.
You knew where it was going the whole time. At least I did.
Yeah, I was
There
hoping.
was no other
Was
way.
that Uncle Lou
Uncle Lou?
from Seinfeld?
Was it?
I think it was.
Isn't he dead?
Is he dead? It looked just like him to
I
me.
think he's dead.
I'll look it up right now.
It did look just like him, though.
I'm not sure, man.
I'm pretty sure that actor died.
Uncle, how do you spell Luke or Lou?
L-O-U, I think.
Hold on.
That's his name, right? Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou is
In
a...
Seinfeld?
Yeah,
Hold on.
or Leo, Uncle Leo.
Uncle Leo,
Yeah,
that's it,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Xavier, I don't think you have ED, but I do think you played like trash all season.
Yeah, I'm being jovial. I can't speak to your penis health.
No, he died 2011.
Len Less.
Rest in
He's
peace.
also in Ghostbusters.
Rest in peace, man.
All right, I think we've covered
Now-
a lot
now he's
of
a real-life
why
ghost.
we don't like the movie. Beza, why did you like the movie? What
It was fun.
What were the couple things you liked about it?
What do you think it did really well?
They talked about Ethiopia a lot. That's the half reason why I loved it.
I like that too.
They I just like how they tied like the Jewish themes of like the Ethiopian Jews and like what they were about, and then they tied to like they had like scenes of like Passover with like Howard's family, and like they were reading through like the plagues and stuff, and they're talking about that. You gotta see them do like the Jewish traditions, like their yarmulkes. The kids are playing this game, they're like searching for something like Torah, and they tied those themes together. That was really cool. You can see the internal struggle in Howard's character, where like there is a part of him that does want to be like a good person, an honest person, someone who's a stand-up person, but there's also the side of him who is money hungry, who wants to be in lust with his girlfriend Julia, but at the same time he wants to there's that scene in the kitchen where he's talking to his daughters. He wants to like connect with her, like he liked watching her play and stuff. So there is this balance and this struggle between I want to be a good family man, I want to do honest business, but also I want this money, I want to fuck this girl. There's this back and forth, and I think they could have a better job of showing that more throughout the movie. I feel like there's only a 30-minute period where they showed that, but I love that part of that.
Yeah, I mean, like what Miske was saying, they do a great job setting up Adam Sandler's character and showing his inner struggle and his motivations and everything. I just didn't feel like they did the same for the rest of the movie or for the rest of the characters, and I just had a hard time following it just with the cinematography and how it was shot.
And that's fair. I also thought, I didn't think KG did a bad job playing himself. Like, I feel like
I was impressed by KG.
I'm
thought-
probably being nitpicky with my issues with KG. I just thought he
I
was
thought
a
KG
goofy
did fine.
character.
He was strange. I liked him. I think he did a good job.
I'm not gonna say he did an amazing job and he deserves an Oscar, but like he did a good job. Yeah. The Weeknd, small role, but he played himself, and it was 100% believable. Every part he did.
I thought the whole club scene was actually really well done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
Agreed.
2012, The Weeknd's visiting New York City. I feel like it's exactly what the environment would have been like. Lakeith Stanfield, I did a great job. Anita Menzel, great job. Anytime there's good acting, it's hard for me to not like a movie. Doesn't matter if it's bad writing or bad effects or bad cinematography. If the acting is actually good, I'll be on board. You know, it's harder. It's easier for me to like a movie with good acting and bad everything else than a movie that has good writing, good directing, but bad acting. Does that make sense?
That's fair.
Yeah, that's how I personally feel.
Yeah, I thought the extended family dynamics were really interesting when they were at that Jewish dinner.
Yeah, for sure.
And what I found most interesting was how Howard fit in well with the family and Arno didn't. And it seemed like there was like a tinge of jealousy going on there.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
I hadn't thought about that.
Because you notice that like Howard was like almost like talking back and like putting down Arno in the midst of their family, but when it's like out in public, it's a totally different like role reversal. You know, that's definitely an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, and it was cool that it was with their father-in-law. Like it wasn't like Adam Sandler's direct family. You know, like just showing how he had integrated and how Arno hadn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they were both the in-laws.
Yeah.
Because they married sisters, so they were both the in-laws.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was cool. They were on an equal power dynamic there, and yet Howard in that situation had more power.
He had the favor of the father-in-law
Yeah.
rather than Arno did.
In that moment, I'm rooting for him. I really want him to fix things and turn his life around.
Well, that's when he is trying to fix things, and like
Yeah.
that's like I said, it was slow. That's when the movie wasn't chaotic.
Yeah.
I was actually rooting for him to get back together with his wife and to forget about the girlfriend.
So you could have her.
There's that part.
Sure.
But no, I was genuinely like rooting for it, and it was kind of like, oh, it sucks when she rejects him again. But I also, and this is a thing that I know our friend Dave absolutely loves, is like the fall of a man story.
Yes.
And this is what it was. It was a fall of a man story. You know, he was going through struggles. Then he made a push to like really change things and make things for the better. And then things start falling apart again. And then he just goes to the full dark side, if you will. If I do say so myself, I feel like my life out of Four of Us is probably the most chaotic. And the most
I think that's true.
like crazy.
Shout out Gus.
But no, like I feel like not like on like I totally relate to him, but like on some level, like I do relate to Howard's character a little bit, and like the craziness of life and all that stuff.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like I enjoyed that part of it. It didn't like throw me off. I mean, clearly it wasn't a highlight for you guys, the camera work and the crazy over talking and the constant phone calls. But
Would you say you thrive in a chaotic environment?
yeah,
Yeah, because I think Howard does too.
yeah,
Whereas I don't know, I would say and maybe you guys as well, I don't thrive in a chaotic environment.
No.
So just I couldn't relate to that.
Yeah.
right.
I totally agree.
And being in college, I was a 2-sport athlete. I was a science major. I was in choir. I had 2 part-time jobs, and I was still, hanging out with friends on the weekends. And now I have 4.
Still had time to binge shows.
Yeah, so that time I've been shows. Right now, I have 4 jobs. I work throughout the week. I work out every day. I still have a social life. Go to church 3 times a week. Go to Bible site twice a week. Do this podcast. So I don't know. I guess I do in a way thrive off crazy schedule and chaos.
Yeah.
In a way.
I would call you a hustler. You've got a lot of stuff on your plate.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I guess in that way I do relate to Howard, and I kind of, in a way, empathize with him because like, I don't think Howard's a bad person. I just think that he wasn't sure what he wanted in life, and his bad decisions caught up to him, and he ended up making more bad decisions. Those caught up with him as well, and then it's kind of snowballed.
Yeah.
And
The movie
took him down.
It was just jarring to me, and not in a good way.
Final thoughts on the movie?
What would everyone give it out of 10?
I'd give it probably like a 6, 5 or a 6.
I think maybe a 6. Yeah, I would say 6.
I'd give it an 8. Not great, but I liked it a lot.
Walking out, I would have given it a 6. I think I appreciate more what the filmmakers were going for, and I think they accomplished exactly what they were going for. I just didn't like it, so I'd give it a 7.
That's reasonable.
Fair enough. Yeah, I gave it 8, 8.5. Yeah. So.
I'd say it's worth a watch if you like a Fall of the Man type movie, but
It's just hard to watch
it is.
from a technical aspect.
If you thrive off chaos, you might like this movie. For sure. All right. Next topic. What are we talking about? What are we discussing?
We can either do Jesus is King or we can do Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What are we feeling?
I also want to touch on 1917, even though me and Misk only saw it.
I mean, we could go like literally no spoilers, just like 2 minutes on it.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Give us your thoughts.
Yeah.
I want to hear.
One of the most well done movies I've ever seen ever.
Oh, it was beautiful to watch. I'll say this: if you're thinking about going and seeing it, splurge, spend the extra money to see it in like IMAX or Dolby or whatever,
Yes,
whatever the option
please
is.
do. Yes,
like,
you must.
It's
must.
so worth it. Now that being said, if you're like a little squeamish or a little like worried about like if war movies aren't your thing, like this isn't for you as well. It's not the most brutal war movie, but it's still a war movie.
There's a couple scenes where it's a little much, but like no fluff. Like I can't think of any flaws really, except for the CGI that they did, which is a little.
I didn't even notice that though.
But yeah,
so.
you barely notice it. But like almost no fluff, extremely well done. The main actor, who we didn't realize in the beginning was the main actor, but the main actor,
I mean, I thought
really good.
I thought everyone in the movie like acted really well.
and there was a lot of big names in there that had small roles, which was shocking.
Yeah, it was flipped on its head in terms of like the acting hierarchy. It was the biggest names had the smallest roles, the smallest names had the biggest roles.
Yeah, just incredible writing. Like not much dialogue, but when there was dialogue, it was like really well done. Yeah, if you like artsy movies, like artesian movies, like this is one you have to go see for sure.
Yeah, I leaned over to Baeza maybe like 20, 25 minutes into the movie, and I'm like, this should win every Oscar.
Yes. Wow.
And then I was like, wait, there's no women in the movie. Probably not going to win Best Supporting Actress or Best Actress.
But the two women in the movie were great.
But then there was women a little bit later, so I was like, maybe we can do it.
We'll squeeze them in.
Yeah, no, yeah, some of the best cinematography I've ever seen in my life. Probably, as far as cinematography goes, probably the best movie I've ever seen, for sure.
Wow.
And sound mixing too, probably the best movie I've ever seen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got on it.
Praise.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll
I
talk
wanna
about
see
it
it.
more in different podcasts, but 10 out of 10 recommend for sure.
I agree. Also give it a 10.
Wow.
Also, I think we need to talk about this for a second. How many movies did you watch sophomore year of college, Miski?
This will be good.
We need to bring this back a little bit.
Okay,
Just
so
give you a little background on Miski.
We need to put this on wax.
So here's the story. So I'm a huge Georgia college football fan, right? Like absolutely, I call myself the biggest Georgia fan who's never been to the state of Georgia.
Miski is a Georgia Bulldog fan and a Dallas Cowboys fan, but he's from Mequon, Wisconsin. So
Go Bucks though, I'm a Bucks fan. But yeah, my sports teams make no sense. But huge Georgia fan, and it's November. It's the Georgia-Florida game of what was this? Maybe 2014, sophomore year of college, and Georgia just gets killed. And if you're a Georgia fan, there's nothing more depressing than getting killed by Florida. That's like worst case scenario, and I'm just depressed.
It's rough.
I'm not having a good time. And then all the roommates are like, "Hey, Miski, we're all going to the Wolves game. You want to go?" And I wanted to sulk in my depression.
Sure.
So I decided no.
Sure.
Instead,
This.
I'm going to watch some movies to pick me up. So I watched 3 movies that night, including It's a Wonderful Life, which is one of my absolute favorites.
We can relate to that. That's one of my top 10. One
And
of my
like
top 10.
so uplifting, lifted my spirits. So it was 3 movies that night, and then it was pretty much at least a movie a day the rest of the year. So it was over 100 movies sophomore year.
Wow.
My only memory from that period is when you started binging the Saw movies.
Yeah, I watched all the Saw movies in 3 days.
Yeah, and so I would be in my room, Miski would be in the living room of our apartment,
I remember
just
that.
screaming like, "No!" All by himself in the dark, and yeah, it was hilarious.
It was a rough time.
So wait, how many did you actually watch?
It was over 100 for sure. Like probably 120.
In a semester.
Yeah, a semester and a half probably.
Did it start in J term?
It started in November.
Well, yeah, I guess if football would still be going on. Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And then I feel like this is a good time to like talk about my OCD and how I watch movies. Because
Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a friend or family member of Baeza, or you probably at least have some knowledge of him,
Or your Xavier Rhodes.
or your Xavier Rhodes.
He's crying. I just just wanted to relax.
I want to say
Listen
You,
about my
but if you haven't gone and seen a movie with Baeza, you got to do it once in your life. And you got to do it and just let him do everything. You're going to disagree with all the decisions. True.
Nothing's gonna make sense.
But you're an observer here.
yeah. So the main theater I go to usually is AMC Rosedale, my favorite theater in the world. Not the highest quality, but pretty good theater. And me, Jess, and Miske, and sometimes Wanda will tag along. We always go see movies all the time in
Wanda
college.
was another roommate of ours.
Yes. And I think I developed this habit when I started going to movies by myself more often when you guys were busy. And here's my thing. So I always go to the theater, preferably at nighttime. I don't like going to movies during the day. It's a weird feeling. But if it's, the only time I can go see one, then I'll do it. So I usually pull up at nighttime, park my car. I walk into the theater. Now, I don't like buying my movies in advance. I buy my movies my tickets at the theater, okay? Not doing the electronic shit. I have to go up to the people. I like people. I'm a people person, right?
You're old
Extrovert.
school.
I'm old school. So I walk up. So I'll buy a ticket. If there's a chance to see an IMAX, I go see an IMAX. If there's a chance to see an IMAX 3D, boom, we in there. Okay. I like 3D. I don't know why people don't like 3D. It's the best way to watch a movie. It's a pure way to watch a movie. I don't get
It's
it.
not a pure way to watch a
No,
movie.
it is not a pure way.
It's superior.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Is it?
It is a superior way to watch a movie.
I don't know about that,
I
man.
don't think it
I
is.
think the general public, on most things, would disagree with you here. But that's fine.
This is my method.
It's your
you're right,
method.
you're right.
This is your method.
We're talking about my method of watching a
I don't
movie,
think I've
okay?
seen a 3D movie with you ever.
That's not true.
surprising. I don't think I have.
We definitely
The
have.
last 3D movie I saw was Avatar, so I don't think we have.
Okay, well,
What?
Really?
You haven't seen a 3D movie since Avatar?
I don't think so. What other 3D movies would I have seen?
all the movies. All the movies.
Me and
all
you
of them.
saw Jurassic World in 3D.
Ew.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. I remember
don't
Was
that.
it
remember that.
3D? Why?
I don't know. I really don't.
guess
I think
the
it was just that was the
dinosaurs.
showing that was available.
But anyways, if I can see in Dolby Cinema, that's great. But if I can see IMAX 3D, that's my preferred method of watching a movie. So I get my ticket. Boom, we in there. I always say hi to the people taking my ticket. They're working. They're hardworking people. I like them a lot. Then I gotta go pee. Go pee because I'm not leaving the movie theater. I can't do that.
Amen.
Go pee first. Then I go and get in line. Concession stand, all right? I'm an American, goddammit. I'm getting my popcorn, getting my Coke, okay? Get my popcorn. Depends on what kind of movie it is. If it's like I'm with friends, a big blockbuster movie, I get like a big popcorn. But if it's like a smaller, like indie film, I get like the small joint, okay? If I feel like cheating and being a bad boy, I'll get a Coke.
A bad boy.
But
Feeling naughty.
if I'm feeling naughty, I get a Coke. But I usually go with Coke Zero because I think it tastes better, and I don't know. I don't know.
Has that always been Coke? Is this new? I feel like it always used to be Coke no matter what.
Well, I think the past year and a half I've been going Coke Zero.
Okay.
But every once in a while I'll splurge and get a regular Coke. So I get my Coke Zero. I fill up the ice about 1/4 the way up.
This is getting.
Hit the Coke Zero button, get the Coke Zero in there.
None of
Then-
this is an exaggeration.
No, this is the detail, okay? Get my popcorn, right? Doesn't matter if it's bag or those circular things, containers, whatever. I go to the butter station. I pour the butter over and I do like lines like a hot dog with ketchup. Do the same thing with the butter and the popcorn. Then I have to get the edges around the popcorn so the butter slides down to the bottom of it. And then I'll do another couple lines on top of that. And I'll do it for a couple minutes, do that process over and over again till it's just soaked with butter. I like buttery popcorn a lot. So I got my butter, my pop, boom. So we walk into the
Wait. What about the straw? Where you pour the butter in?
If I'm feeling like I want extra butter, sometimes what I'll do, I'll get an extra straw. I'll put it if I really want to get the butter deep in there, I'll put the straw in the middle of the popcorn. And I'll pour the butter through the straw so it gets to the bottom.
You're an animal,
Why bring a
Baeza.
napkin? It's just-
It feels like
you see me do this.
I haven't seen you do that. It feels like you're in danger. This feels like a call for help.
Don't worry, guys. He's being healthy. He's got the Coke Zero.
Yeah, this would probably be on a regular Coke movie going.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's
This
true.
is like if I'm feeling a little crazy that day.
Yeah,
So I'll take the straw out and I'll do a couple more lines over the top of the popcorn.
yeah.
So boom, got my Coke Zero. got my popcorn with the butter on it. We walk in the theater. Now, where am I gonna sit in the theater?
There's only
Front-
one
I know-
place to sit.
Listen, I don't understand why everyone likes sitting in the middle of the theater. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Absolutely no sense. If I can see anything like from that far of a distance. I got my laptop at home. I got my phone at home. If I'm going to the theater, I want the experience. I want right in my face. All right.
Your vision is going to be shot by the time you're 30.
I don't care. I still have 20. I got 20 very perfect vision this eye, 20 vision this eye. I'm good to go. So where do I sit? Front and center, front row. Sometimes there's an asshole sitting in my spot, front and center. I don't like that. So if I have to choose on either side of them, I will go slightly to the left. If they're sitting side to the left too, I have to go slightly to the right.
Why do you prefer slightly to the left over slightly to
You
the
know
right?
what? I don't know why. I just do.
I mean, you've told me in the past it's because you got to kink the neck to the right. The right kink is better than the left kink.
Yeah, I feel like I can self-adjust my neck better when I side kick to the left a little bit. I don't know why it is. I just feel more comfortable that way.
Maybe it's the 20/20 vision in the left eye or the
Oh,
right
that's
eye.
true.
Boom!
That's
Just
true.
figured it
It's the
out.
vision.
Just got it. He figured it out. So yeah.
But you
so,
have better than that vision on your right side. So wouldn't you go to the right side so it evened out?
Ken, these are my methods, right? Those are my methods.
Don't question him.
Don't question the method. Yeah, so this is what I do when I go to the theater. I always play the thumbs up, thumbs down game. As Miske has taught me. That's something I picked up from Miske. So I have to watch previews of that movie. If I'm not there for the previews, why to go to the movies at all? So when I'm I'm watching the previews.
It's like saying, why watch TV if not for the commercials?
Shut up, Jess. Shut up, Jess.
Love those Ford ads.
So I always give like a scale of either thumbs up or thumbs down or anywhere in between on a preview. Yeah. So I always play that game before I see a movie. Yeah, so those are my methods for watching a movie.
For someone as chaotic as you have a lot of rituals.
I do have a lot of rituals.
It
That
keeps him
is true.
centered. Where he likes to be. Front and
I have
center.
to find my own like peace in the chaos, you know?
Yeah.
I have to have my own like thing.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah,
like
have
you're
some
very consistent with your lifting, and you're very consistent with things like that. You're also very consistent when you listen to albums. Like you set aside specific time for it.
Yeah.
You're also the kind of guy who will do something once, and then from then on, it's a tradition.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wait, you're not
goodness.
coming? It's a tradition. What? We did that once, Baeza. It's a tradition.
That's how tradition starts.
We had New Year's Eve at my parents' house in high school once, and then I didn't want to do it again the next year. And Baeza almost took my head off because it was a tradition that we do it at your parents' place.
And
Every
guess
year.
what? We did it for 2 more years after
He
that.
did, yeah. He bullied his way into it again for 2 more years.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a little peek into my psyche.
So I want to talk about my movie going method. This
Go.
this doesn't exist anymore. But there was one summer where I had like Tuesdays off. It was one random day of the week. So what I would do is I would go to the movie theater in Brooklyn Center, which is a Topgolf now, which is just
that's right.
which is just a travesty. Which this was the cheapest movie theater in the area, so no one would go to it on a Tuesday for like a 1:00 showing.
I don't think anyone went to it since it's Top Golf now.
Well, yeah, no one's going to it now. But it would be like $5 movies, and I would go out. I'd get myself some Chipotle beforehand, sneak that in. I'd also get.
I remember that.
I'd also get Black Label Mountain Dew. I'd get all set up with basically my lunch of Chipotle and Mountain Dew in the movie theater, and no one else would be there. Like, I saw movies by myself all the time that summer. It was amazing.
Underrated. I love seeing a movie by myself. It's one of my great joys in life.
I agree.
I will say the only awkward part is when, like, the person comes in to clean afterwards, and you're the only person there.
Yeah, that's when you're tested. Like, am I standing by myself in this moment? I love it. Shout out to anyone who goes to a movie by themselves. You're having the time of your life. Know that.
It's a good time. I enjoy
the
it.
best.
I enjoy it.
We're already at 2 hours. Or we're already at 1 hour and 10 minutes. We've been flowing.
Let's go 2 hours, baby.
Let's go. Do you want to go 2 hours?
Let's roll.
Do you guys have more feelings about Jesus is King or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Nope. Those are my thoughts on Jesus is King.
Nope.
No, I'm kidding. I meant like the theater talk.
Oh, I just said nope.
A swing and a miss there. Sorry. I could go pee.
Oh yeah, let's do it.